Positive thinking is literally only half the battle because we have subconscious belief systems that shoot up self-doubt, worry, and fear that can often erode the good work we're doing in terms of positive thinking. So if you feel like you're a positive person and you keep sabotaging yourself, then this video is for you. So welcome back to another video. My name is Kevin and I help people live their soul's purpose. In this video, we're going to be diving into the number one spiritual tool that I've ever learned in my last 7 years of experience and development and receiving support and coaching and mentorship and diving into spiritual principles. So this is extremely powerful when you apply it. Because as I was mentioning before, we often hear about positive thinking, that you need to be positive and have a positive mental attitude to produce the results you want. Of course, that is absolutely true. And there is often these subconscious patterns that hold us back and we don't even know it because it's subconscious, it's unconscious. So I received this question earlier about how do we become aware of our subconscious patterns so that we can repattern them and choose new beliefs. So it's very simple. Like many things in transformation, it's very simple, but not easy. Because in the moment that you're in, when you're facing those feelings of trying to, wanting to go forward, but feeling this resistance to even do what you know to do, then it could be really hard and challenging because we feel that resistance. It's not something that just like a thought pops into our mind. It's like, oh no, I'm scared. Like it's a feeling, it's visceral, and it's like we're frozen. What's happening in our body is we have this idea, we're thinking positive, we want to move forward, we know what to do, but our subconscious, and which is it's within our entire body, our subconscious, not just in our mind, then it's like it tries to pull us back because of some fear, some doubt, some worry. And ultimately, our subconscious is really just trying to protect us. Because we have a lot of things that we've built up over our lifetime from our childhood to our adulthood that is a kind of like a set point for our success and love and happiness that we can actually allow into our life. And so the spiritual tool that you can use to work on your subconscious patterns without even needing to know what those are is a tool called noticing what you're noticing. Yes, noticing what you're noticing. So go with me on this journey here. I invite you to close your eyes, take a deep breath, and just notice your body. Whether you're sitting down, laying down, or standing up, or walking, notice your body. Notice where your feet are, whether they're planted on the ground, maybe they're on their lap, you're on your lap. Just notice your feet. Then notice your belly button. Notice your belly. Without judgment, just notice that part of your body. Notice your left shoulder, and then your right shoulder. Notice the very tippy tip of your nose, and then the top of your head. Just notice these parts of your body. Now, turn your noticing faculty to your thoughts. What thoughts have you been thinking? Again, without judgment, it could be whatever it is. You may be noticing that you've been thinking, well, where's Kevin going with this? You could be noticing that you're thinking, I got a food shop later, or noticing you got to take care of something later on today, or you're noticing that you're thinking like, what the heck is this? This is boring. Like, just notice whatever thoughts are coming through your mind. Now, notice that you can notice your thoughts. Notice that you can notice your body. You have the ability to shift your attention. And you have that meta physical ability to notice what you're noticing, to be aware of what you are aware of. It's like an observer effect. So you can open your eyes if you had them closed. Just that power of being able to notice what you're noticing, to be aware of what you're being aware of, is your superpower. Because in the moment that you're in, that you're feeling that resistance, you want to move forward, but there's this feeling like, oh my gosh, like I don't know what, I don't want to do this, or I feel scared, or I feel just this resistance. You can just notice that feeling, and notice that you're noticing that. And what that does, it separates you from the experience. You can have the emotion, but you don't let it have you. You're a powerful spiritual being. But if you only just think that you're this body and you think that you're just your thoughts, then when you are up against the resistance, up against that subconscious block, then you're going to stay in the pattern that's most familiar. You need to be an observer. Take that outside perspective. Notice what you're noticing, so that then when you realize, it's like, oh shit, this sucks. Like, I'm feeling off, or I'm thinking really terrible thoughts about myself, about my opportunities, about my life, about what's possible. Whatever you notice, then you can realize, and you as the spiritual being can be like, what the heck? Like, I don't want to repeat that in my human experience. And so therefore, you could choose differently. You see, with this tool, you don't have to go looking for your subconscious blocks. I often have heard that that's what, psychologists and therapists do, which they do amazing work. I'm not bashing any of that profession, but a lot of it is looking backward and looking inside. Is like, oh, what is the problem? Like, we need to find the problem first before we move forward. But honestly, you could be moving forward and work on those blocks as they come up. Because as you're moving forward, as you're seeking to grow, the most natural thing to happen is you hit up against your resistance, your edge of your comfort zone. And this is where the power of noticing what you're noticing comes in. And when you use this, you feel so much better, because you're not believing that you're limited by those feelings, or limited by those patterns, or limited by those thoughts. And you can choose again. Well, I'll give you an exact example of this in my own life. I got a couple that have been happening for me over the last couple of months, and I'll share one that just happened this past weekend. I noticed, I was talking with a friend of mine, close friend of mine. He lives in California. We went to Israel together on a spiritual pilgrimage. He's the son of one of my mentors, and I was talking with him, connecting with him. We had about a 20-minute conversation, and when I hung up the phone, I just noticed, I was like, I feel like there's something off there. I couldn't put my finger on it, but I just knew it was like, I didn't show up in the way that I knew I wanted to. I felt like there was something off. And so I acknowledged my feelings, that I was feeling kind of off about that, feeling kind of sad that I didn't connect in the way that I wanted to. And I just observed. I was noticing what I was noticing. I was like, okay, I noticed this feeling that's off, that's contractive, and I want to feel expansive. So it's like, okay, this is just my experience. So what is this? I was able to notice what I'm noticing, so I have the observer effect to just be objective, have an objective viewpoint, be the observer. And in that experience, I started to realize I have some resistance to connecting at an even deeper level with my closest friends. And as I uncovered a bit more and more and more, I realized that I had still had a pattern up until now that came from a relationship that had ended 5 years ago. I had a really close friend that we were best friends for about 4 to 5 years, and I felt at one point a situation that happened. I felt manipulated by him, and we stopped talking. Like, our relationship ended there, and it hurt because he was so close to me. He was my best friend, and over the years, I've been doing work to heal from that experience, and also, of course, see my part in it, because I allowed it to happen. It's been in my experience, but I didn't realize up until this past weekend that I hadn't repatterned the belief that if I get too close to people in my life, to particularly friends, then I will get hurt, that I will get manipulated. And notice that, that subconscious belief was just trying to protect me, because I got really hurt. So now that I'm aware of it, I'm in the process of repatterning that by telling myself, and actually doing some journaling. Like, last night was a full moon. I'm recording this on May 8th. Last night was a full moon, and I did a repatterning around this by writing down the things that I wanted to let go of. I wrote it down on a piece of paper, and one of the things was I wanted to let go of the belief that my closest friends will hurt me. Crumpled that paper up, literally burned it in a mason jar so it was secure, it was safe. And then I wrote the new belief that my friends will support me. that I trust. I willingly trust my friends because I want that deeper connection. And so I know, and this is not all done, like not just, once you become aware of the subconscious block and you repattern it, then you're fine. Like you have to continue with the new belief. You have to repattern by repeating this belief again and again and again, and really get emotionally involved with it. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going through that myself. And the point of change comes from that spiritual tool. Notice what you're noticing. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you found value in this. Again, like I shared, this tool has been the #1 tool that I've ever learned in my entire life. And I mentioned the last 7 years because it's only been 7 years of my personal development and spiritual awakening and growth journey. So I'm curious to know what your experience is with this, of having the observer effect. The other term for it is metacognition. So I'm curious to know your experience with metacognition, of noticing what you're noticing. What is your level of application of that in your life? And then challenge yourself. Notice what you're noticing and see, where can I apply this at an even deeper level? Because as spiritual beings having a human experience, we always have more growth to experience. So I encourage you to use this. Allow this inspiration to be action in your life, to take action on, so it could produce the transformation you want to see in your experience. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, please like the video, subscribe if you haven't yet, and share this video with someone that can really use this. I know it could be powerful for them, and if you had a great experience with watching this, chances are your friends, your family would enjoy it too. So I will see you on another video. Hope you have an amazing day.